Diane in Denmark here, and welcome back to another question and answer session. And before we begin, I'm setting my timer. I hope that you have run your routines before you start watching this video, and maybe you want to use this video to fold laundry, tidy up at the office, water the house plants, whatever it is. You don't need to watch me in this one, excuse me. I'm not going to be cleaning, so you can do something else while you're listening to me. Start making dinner, declutter a shelf. Anyway, let's get down to it. Now, I'm doing another question and answer session, and as always, I am not the oracle. I'm Diane in Denmark. I used to be a Flylady mentor. I am and will always be a fly baby. And if you have any particular questions about the Flylady system, you can always go to flylady.net. There's always a link in all of my videos to Flylady.net and also to Flylady Premium if you need one-on-one encouragement. If you really need hand-holding more than I can give you through these little pep talks. So I'm going to be answering some questions that you've been posing to the videos that I make, and also just before I forget, because I tend to ramble on, don't forget to join us for the 31 baby steps. I did them in January with you, and I walked you through each day. There's a video for each day, and I'm doing them again right now on Instagram. So if you haven't checked out Instagram before, go and have a look. Instagram is where people can share photos, and I love that because I take photos all the time, and I find photos very motivational. I like to see a space that's cluttered, and then the before and the after. That's really powerful me. And also I post pictures of my shiny sink at the end of the day, and what we're having for dinner, what my outfit is for the next day, because that just keeps me accountable. And let me just take off my jacket. I was going to wear something else today, and I had to change this morning because it's really turned out warm here in Denmark. Anyway, to get back to the questions that you have written, first of all on laundry. Yes, we are in the month of August, and the Flylady habit that we're working on for August is laundry. And I get a lot of questions about my outfits and upkeep. I have a very simple laundry routine. I do one load of laundry per day. Sometimes I do two, if we've got sheets or, towels, bigger items. But here in Europe we have quite small machines, which is good, which means that, I need to do one load of laundry per day. I don't let it build up, and the focus for me is more on doing the load of laundry per day rather than waiting until I can get the ideal load. And you might feel, that's a bit wasteful of water, energy. We're very environmentally friendly here in Denmark. We wash on low temperatures. We use powder and liquids that are good for the environment. But it's important for me to do things at the same time every day, rather than saying, well, I'll just wait until tomorrow until I've got a better load. That doesn't work for me. It may work for you, it doesn't work for me. I need to have things, like every day I run the dishwasher. It gets run at the same time every day. It may not be completely full, but then, I just kind of look around the kitchen, and there's always like a filter from the fan extractor that can go in, or the lids of the recycling bins, all that can go in the dishwasher. So for me, it's important to do one load per day, at least one per load per day, and to get that load finished. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you wash the laundry, you dry it. I don't have a tumble dryer, so I line dry everything. But what I hang up one day, the next day is my, to fold or to iron. So I'm doing a complete load of laundry every day. I've got clothes that I hung up yesterday. They are now dry. So this morning I took a load out the washing machine. I hung it up. I can't do anything more with that today, but I can fold yesterday's load and iron it, and put it away. And it's the putting away that is essential. You cannot start a load of laundry and not put something away. So try and put those two together. And putting away for me is, fold the laundry, get the kids to help you fold the laundry, and everybody gets their own pile of laundry to put away. And even small kids can put away their load of laundry if they've got space to put it. And if you're having trouble with laundry, where do you put it? You know what the answer is. You've probably got too much in your wardrobe, in your closet, in the drawers. Try and, every time you open a drawer this week, see, is there any laundry in there? Is there clean stuff but it doesn't actually fit? Then put it in your giveaway bag. Yeah, I keep a bag actually in my wardrobe, in my closet, of stuff that, if I see something there and then I can put it straight in my giveaway bag, clean stuff. And also had a question about ironing. When do I do my ironing? Well, I'll tell you, before I found Flylady system, I used to do that thing like, if I only had one item, I would say, well, I don't want to do that right now. I'll wait until I've got a few things. And you know how that works. Suddenly you go from like having 2 items to iron, and then you've got this huge pile, and I would need to put on my Thoroughly Modern Millie favourite DVD, or it was a video at that time, that's how old I am, remember videotapes, and I would spend all Sunday afternoon ironing. Now, maybe you think that's great, maybe that works for you. For me, what works is having, I've actually got a space down where I hang up my laundry. It's not a great space, but I have a radio there, and I have my ironing board permanently set up. So in the morning, when I switch on my washing machine for the last spin, I switch on the iron and I fold yesterday's clothes and iron and put it away, and then I've got the load that is ready to be hung up. So that's my laundry routine. Find something that works for you, and if it's not working, you've got to look at it, because you can't be doing, going on with what you've got that's not working and saying, why is it? You've got to change something. So either try changing the timing or the order that you do things in, or look at why are you not putting things away. It's probably because you've got nowhere to put them. Yeah. So anyway, that was about laundry. Moving swiftly on. Somebody asked about our house. You see my house, when I'm cleaning in the bathroom, or when I'm in the living room or the dining room, and it seems very airy, and have we made any changes? This is a house from 1933, very typical of its age. It's, if you're into architecture, it's called international style, which is very kind of streamlined, no fancy things. The only thing that's different about our house, you'll see that we've got quite a few arched doorways. That wasn't typical of the time, but I think it was the family that had the house built. The international style was a bit too modern for them, and so they still had the round doorways, and we love those, and that's the original doors from 1933, the wood and everything. So we haven't made any big changes in this house. We like the style. It's like a big shoebox, this house. So anyway, that was about the house. Yes, okay, here's one of the main things I wanted to address today. 2 separate questions, and it's the same answers. I've had questions about flying with a chronic illness, and how do you fly when you've got small kids. Now, they may seem like very different things, but the essential thing for you to do is to focus on the routines, but not the timing of your routines. Don't get caught up in when you're actually getting your routines done. When you've got chronic illness, or if you're at home with small kids, I've mentioned this before. I talked about it a lot in the 7-day routines challenge that we did. I'll put a link up there. I talked through all different things about tweaking routines to fit your circumstances, whether you are a pensioner, whether you're retired, whether you're working out of the home, from home, whether you've got small kids. If you have a chronic illness or small kids, your schedule is not going to be the same as somebody who is leaving to go out to an office at 8 o'clock every morning. It is not going to be like that. And that's where your timer is really going to be a great help. First of all, if you've got problems with energy, you might want to use the TOTH and BOTH systems. I'll also put a link to that. Top of the hour. That if you know that you've got limited energy, then at the top of every hour, it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. You set your timer for 5 minutes and you do one thing from your routine. And you don't worry about getting your routine finished by 10:30 in the morning. You just make sure that you've got your routines written down. That's a really important thing. And just cross off as you do them. And you just do 5 or 10 minutes at the top of the hour, and the rest of the hour you can rest. And it's the same thing when you've got small kids. You have a lot going on. It's small kids. I mean, I had problems with that before. That's why I looked for Flylady, because I thought, what is going on? I could have a really high-powered job, and yet kids and running the home, that was completely outside my arena. I didn't know how to cope. But having a structure when you've got small kids, don't worry about the actual timing of it, but every hour, take the timer. Kids love the game thing. Set the timer and say, okay kids, we've been playing with Lego, Play-Doh, drawing, painting. We take 5 minutes and let's everybody, pick up the things or take out our cups and plates to the kitchen. Let's go and get another snack to eat. Use the timer. The timer is going to be your best friend. Also because quite often, when we're a mum, we think, oh, it's just the thought of doing something. It seems overwhelming. But if we just use the timer and do a couple of minutes, we can achieve a lot. We can really achieve a lot. And again, make sure that you have it written down. Also, because if you have, also with chronic illness, if you have carers or family coming in to help, same if you've got small kids, if you've got family, grannies coming to look after the kids, you are the one who can give them a list of what you want done. Because families and carers, they may think, oh, they're helping you by preparing food or cleaning something. You can direct them to do what you want, where you get the most benefit from it. And that's the same also, you don't even have to have a chronic illness or have small kids. If you have a cleaning lady coming in, and by all means have a cleaning lady. Nobody says in Flylady that you have to do it all. If you want to have a cleaning lady, go ahead and have a cleaning lady. But if you have your routines written down and you have some detailed cleaning lists, you can tell the cleaning lady what you want done. Don't just let them, do whatever they think needs doing. You can direct them and say, I want you to do the windows in this room this week and next week. You are in charge. You're the one that gets to decide those things. And flying with a chronic illness, take it easy. You've really got to take it easy on yourself, and don't expect too much. That's the thing I see with everybody who's trying to do the Flylady system. We're all trying to do too much. And if we just focus on the small things like the routines, if you can get those crossed off, and then if you're still feeling, like you've got some energy that day, you might not have energy that day, you have it the next day, you could look at your list and say, you know what, today I feel like I can do 5 or 10 minutes of cleaning in the zone or decluttering in the zone, and set your timer and say, okay, I'm going to do 10 minutes and then I'm going to rest again. So anyway, I hope that gave you some tips. Moving swiftly on, my goodness, we're already at 15 minutes. Oh yeah, my sink caddy. Let me just grab that. Because everybody always asks about the sink caddy, and I'll put a link to it. It's a Danish design, but you know what? You can find the same thing in IKEA, a similar thing. And I like it just because it keeps everything, you know, close by on the sink. And listen, and I'm not putting an affiliate link. I'm just putting the name of the thing because, and I don't want. What I wanted to say to you about this is today is you don't have to have the sink caddy that I have in order to clean your house. You do not have to have the little cleaning caddy that I carry around with me. Just use what you've got. But actually, once you get started with the system, you know, it's quite nice to have a sink caddy that you like beside your sink. And if you don't have a sink caddy, a really good idea is just to put a bowl or some kind of container at your sink so you can put all your sponges and dishwashing soap together. That way you can just lift up the whole thing and wipe off the surface, you know, because it always gets a bit splashed around the sink. So if you've got your, you know, all your sponges lying across the windowsill, maybe just put them into a little plastic bowl, or if you've got some kind of container, it keeps them all together and makes it much easier for cleaning. So that's all I wanted to say about that. You do not have to have the same as me. Right, on to the next one. Oh yes, right. We have a great community. Excuse me, just take a sip of water. I hope you've got some water there. We have a great community. Oh, let me set the timer again. Okay, we have a really great community here. And if you saw on Instagram yesterday, on the baby step number 1, after we had shined our sinks, I asked everybody to put in their sink some currency, you know, where you live, so we could see where everybody was. And there was Austrian currency, and there was euros from the people in Belgium and France, and there was Canadian dollars, and I had Danish crowns. And I just wanted to say to you, when you are a fly baby, it's really great if you can link up with somebody else who's close to you or speaks the same language, you know, Danish, German, Dutch, French, Southern, Texan. If you can find somebody to kind of partner up with, and there are lots of great fly baby groups out there. Now, for example, if you are in, if you're in Sweden, or när du pratar svenska, there's a Swedish fly baby group. Look out for that. I'm in that one. I'm also in the French Flylady group. Now, I'll give you the name of it. It's Flylady pour les Francophones, avec l'accord de Marla Cilley. So I'll put a link in the comments. And that's run by Scarlett and Sophie, and that's a great Flylady group if you are a Francophone, if you're a French speaker. So go and check that out. And they do, you know, they run missions and they do baby steps in French. And Sophie took you know, I did the baby step videos, and she's taken those and done them herself in French, and so Scarlett. So anyway, go and look for that. And there's also there's a German fly baby group, I think, on Facebook. The two that I've mentioned before, those are on Facebook. But just, you know, reach out to the others on Instagram. You'll already see there's a lot of different fly babies around the world. So just use the hashtag Flylady, and then keep a lookout for somebody that's in your area or speaks the same language, because you know what, flying is so much more fun, you know, when you're part of a group, and you know, when you're speaking the same language, boom boom, really speaking the same language. So I hope that'll be useful for you. Go and check those out. And I might, if you're in the French and Swedish Flylady groups on Facebook, I'll see you there because I'm a member of both. Okay, and I'll just do a couple more and then we'll get going, because it is Thursday, it's errand day. I've got appointments to go to. What should I do? Oh yeah, I think one of the other things about kids is make sure that you have charts for them too. I have actually just made some new charts for my kids, and you know, I've got a DS 17, a dear son 17, and a DD 15, dear daughter 15. Now, why am I making chore charts for them at this age? This is because, you know, we've started a new school year. Life is different. You know, my kids are getting older. We have one bathroom that we share in the morning. We have a guest toilet, but we have one bathroom that we all use. So we are kind of on, it's almost like, you know, using the timer and making sure that everybody's in and out at the right times and everybody can get in, and that we've planned ahead, that the kids have made their packed lunches, that, you know, my son cleans out the lovebird cage once a week. He's back, so that's his responsibility again. So make sure that you have some good chore charts for the kids. Yeah, that was that about that. And the other thing is, oh yeah, it is Thursday, it's errand day. And for those of you using the basic weekly plan, you know what that is. Otherwise, go and take a look. I've made videos about the basic weekly plan in Flylady. We have a purpose for each day. Today is errand day. And I've got, I actually already did some of my errands this morning. Oh, and that brings me into something else. I keep on getting questions about my winter bathing. Every morning or every other morning I bike down to the sea. I've already been down this morning. If I'm a bit fluffy, it was because there was quite a lot of waves. When I go down to the sea in the morning, I have already done my morning routine. You know, I'm dressed to shoes. I actually changed my top this morning when I was getting dressed because it's so humid here today. But you know, I've got my makeup on, I've got my swimming bag, I've done my morning routine. If my morning routine isn't complete before I go for my swim, you know, I go for my swim at different times depending on my best friends. You know, if it's 7:45 we swim, or if it's 8:15 or whatever the time is. If I don't finish my morning routine before I go for my swim, go for my exercise, you know, you'll be the same if you're going out to the gym. When I get back home, I finish my morning routine, no excuses. That's what works for me. I don't kind of think, oh, well, I'll do that later. As soon as I come in the door, as soon as I empty out my swimming bag, I get the rest of my morning routine done. And that for me today is to hang up the washing, because it was doing a final spin when I was off for my sea swim. I've already completed the rest of my morning routine. Dishwasher is emptied. I've ironed yesterday's lot and folded it, and it was already put away before I went out. And also the swimming thing, yes, and I have my makeup on. I don't put my head in the water just because, well, I'll never do that if I'm going to be kind of lounging on a sun lounger down in the south of France and lying on the beach. We're in the water, we swim, and if you want to see us, you know, the winter bathing thing, I made a video about that. It's a thing we do all year round, and it's nice in the summer to go, you know, from a sea swim, but actually the most fun time of year is in the winter, when it is November and it's dark in the morning and we're walking down the steps, the bathing bridge, and it's icy and we have a cup of tea afterwards. So you know what, there's, as my friend said, there's a Danish expression, don't look at the holes in the cheese, just appreciate the cheese. So that's, you know, I love summer weather, and I don't like the dark long days, but actually there's some good things about the winter, like cruising through the holidays and getting into that ice cold water and then warming up afterwards with a nice cup of tea. Anyway, hygge as we call it in Denmark. So anyway, that's it. I'm not going to speak any longer because I know I've been making really long videos this week, and that wasn't the intention. I try and keep it to the golden 15 minutes. But anyway, have a fantastic errand day. As I said, I've already been down to, I was down on my bike this morning and I handed in a parcel to the post office, so go me. I will finish off my morning routine and then I'm out on errands for the rest of the day and appointments, and I shall see you tomorrow Friday, and if not, I shall see you on Instagram where we're doing 31 baby steps. Right, that is it. Boom, boom, boom. Have a lovely day, live long and prosper. Diane in Denmark, signing out.